I'd now like to introduce Ms. Tamerlane Beasley from the Australian-ASEAN Council Board. Ms. Beasley is the founder and managing director of Beasley International. She leads a team of consultants working across Australia and the Asia-Pacific region for multinational corporate clients, international NGOs, and the federal and state governments. She studied Asian Studies at the Australian National University, International Business at Penn State University, and Thai at Chulalongkorn, in Thailand. She lectures at Australia's leading universities with a focus on global and cross-cultural leadership and communication. And she's a fellow of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. Thank you very much, Ms. Beasley.
Thank you so much, Professor Coskelly. It's wonderful to be here today. So I'm a board member with the Australia-ASEAN Council, and we're really delighted to be involved in such an important project. The Australia-ASEAN Council are really about supporting people-to-people relationships and engagement across the countries of Southeast Asia and Australia. And I can't think of a better example of how to do this. And one of the things we're really keen to do with the work of the Council is to support mutual collaboration and learning. And I think one of the things that we know is that innovation and creativity and change is more possible when we engage with diverse perspectives. And I can't think of a better way to do that than to engage with colleagues from across the region. So I'd just like to share a few comments and perspectives around this particular topic. And this is a topic that I've spent a lot of time and energy on, as many of you have, and I'm quite daunted to be talking about this in the presence of academic specialists on this topic. My experience has been very much trial and error, and as the leader of my personal company, Beasley Intercultural, we're a small business. But we deliver learning programs. So my business is 24 years old, and we've been going on a digital transformation, as you have, in recent years. And I just wanted to share some of our experiences in terms of challenging everyone to think about what we're exploring here. So first of all, I'd just like everyone to cast their mind back. I don't know if you can recall, but at the end of 2017, there was a video that went viral online. It actually got more than 48 million views. And that video was of a BBC interview, and there was a specialist being interviewed on current developments in South Korea. And I don't know if you can remember the video, but what happened is he was presenting as professionally as he could from his study, and his 2-year-old wandered in, followed closely thereafter by his toddler, at which point his wife realised what was happening and crawled in, and he was horrified. And the whole world was fascinated by this intrusion of the domestic personal life into the professional. And it was so unusual that we were all fascinated, and it launched so many conversations around the separation between personal life, work-life balance, and whether it is actually possible to work from home. Now, that was such a novelty. So it's hard to believe that that was literally only a couple of years ago, because in my business as well, we embarked upon a digital transformation journey in 2019 prior to COVID, and I engaged very expensive tech experts to give us advice about what platform we should be using. Should we actually be using this Skype or this thing called Zoom, which I've heard a few people use? So literally 6 months after that research project I invested in, my team were delivering programs on Zoom, Blue Jeans, WebEx, Teams, Big Blue Button, Skype, and Google Meet, proving that that decision-making process was totally redundant, and we all have to adapt and use whatever is necessary to get across this. Our clients were appearing on screen in their lounge rooms, in their bedrooms, their kitchens, holding babies, at one point breastfeeding. We had toddlers, Lego on the floor, and it was men and women we were seeing in domestic contexts, where often there was much more of a split there in terms of this concept of family and flexible work practices. It was something women did, not men. So the world has shifted. And I think so many of us have been rapidly hurled into this world of online learning. Obviously, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you all for the work you have done. As the parent of children who have been doing online learning and the wife of a husband who is a teacher who had to learn how to teach woodwork skills to special needs children online, I was also supporting him learning how to use technology. So I think we've all been on a very rapid learning transition in terms of what is and isn't possible online. I think one of the things that's really interesting coming, and I don't think we're remotely coming out of this learning curve, is that although we miss things about face-to-face contact, what we've been forced to do is discover that there's so many positives. As friends and colleagues in Jakarta have shared with me, they're actually loving having another 20 hours of time in their week because all of a sudden they're not commuting in Jakarta traffic. 20 hours is a lot of time to get back with your family and your friends. We've actually found, because we support, our focus in my business is around effective intercultural collaboration and communication, that good online learning and engagement can actually be more democratic and inclusive. We can actually amplify voices that may not be heard. There are ways that it's easier to communicate in a second language online that might be really difficult in person, live, face-to-face. So through using different methodologies and pedagogy and a different approach, it's actually possible to be incredibly creative. So what I'm really hoping is that you all have the opportunity to share your journey, but also what you've learned along the way. And what we know is that there's so much that we can learn together from the perspective of Australians and people in the countries of Southeast Asia sharing. We know that digital transformation in some of the countries in Southeast Asia is far more advanced than it is in Australia. If we're talking about the uptake of certain digital technologies as well, we need very much in Australia to be listening and learning. So please, just to recognise and highlight that this is definitely a collaborative learning experience, and I'm really hoping that people will be listening as much as they're sharing to their colleagues over this period and supporting one another in what I think is actually such a transformation to the way we think and engage, that it can change the way we teach in the long term. We had clients who shifted from fully face-to-face, and my team are on planes every week, to fully online, and now we're shifting back to somewhere in the middle with blended learning. And what we're finding is that we can have the best of both worlds. So, and I'm hoping that we don't let go of some of the benefits, particularly on the personal front, that we've gained from this. And what I'm also finding is collaborating across the world actually, and the region has been enabled, where I used to have to engage a professional film crew, professional lighting, to interview people and professional editors to make video for online learning. I'm now just interviewing people on Zoom on their phones and editing it because it's easier for me to edit or my team to edit and putting it online, and we can turn it around in 12 hours. So please take the opportunity to enjoy the experience, and congratulations so much to the University of Tasmania for putting this together, and Dr. Vin To. What a wonderful achievement. And thank you for your efforts, because I'm sure bringing this together, as bringing anything together online, it often takes more work to do this well. So we recognise how much work you've been doing behind the scenes, and congratulations. So congratulations to everybody, and I hope you'll enjoy the experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Beasley, for those very exciting words around the possibilities.